everyone. This is Anya Farber, your host of the Zionist AF podcast, and I am honored to have Hillel Fuld returning. I messaged Hillel and I was like, Hillel, please come on. We have to talk about what's going on. You know, Hillel, I didn't know that there was going to be a time where I'd be like, hey, Hillel, let's talk about what's going on in the United States because it's fucking absurd. Whereas everyone's like, oh my God, it's so dangerous in Israel. Oh my God, there's like a war.
I can't. By the way, that is one of the things that annoys me most when like some American Jews like, oh, look what happened in Israel on October 7th. As if like we don't have an army here to protect us, and as if we don't know who our enemies are here, and as if we're not moving.
You know, this is why I have so much respect for you, Hillel. Boom, right there. I go, hi, in Israel, I know who wants to kill me. In the United States, I have to carry a gun, a knife, pepper spray. I don't know who's coming from behind and who's gonna just, if it's the guy that I saw at the gas station the other day, maybe it's him. Like, because clearly in the United States, it's a shit show.
Well, in his defense, why are you still driving a gasoline car? I mean, I'm just kidding.
Excuse me, I have a hybrid. Listen, Elon Musk, if you're listening, because I'm sure you're not doing anything at all. I mean, between trying to defend your Tesla dealerships from your former friends that used to love you but hate you now because you straightened out government, and also like volunteering to straighten out all the waste and fraud in government. If you have a few minutes, you can send me a Tesla. I'll even ship it to Israel when I move, which is in 2 months.
Okay.
But I have a hybrid. I'm sorry.
All right, what are we talking about?
What are we talking about? We're talking about this shit show that is the U.S. Specifically, more what happened just a few days ago in Boulder, Colorado, and the fact that people are like, well, I don't really understand.
I mean, here are my thoughts. I wrote about this. When anti-Semites were elected to Congress, they said it won't happen here. When Jews were harassed on the streets, they said it won't happen here. When Jews were not allowed to walk around freely in academic institutions, they said it won't happen here. When Jews were actually assaulted on the streets, it won't happen here. And now Jews are being lit on fire, literally lit. Like, I don't, what is, it won't happen? What is it when you say it won't happen here? It seems to me it's all happened. It's happening. What does it mean it won't happen here?
Well, it won't happen because it is happening, you see? There you go.
Yeah, I listen. I'm not even going to apologize. Like I've been saying, like, oh, I'm not coming from a place of judgment. American Jews who do not understand that they're not safe there, yeah, I judge them.
Hi, I'm leaving.
Good.
I mean, I would greatly appreciate if the Jewish Agency would speed up the process so I could call El Al and buy my overpriced ticket to Israel. So El Al, if you're listening, and Jewish Agency, if you're listening, and actually Nefesh B'Nefesh might be listening because I am documenting my process for them with the hand-holding that you get from them. I would like to be there now. Yes, it is absolutely absurd, Hillel. And, I think, look, you are someone that a lot of people around the world turn to for news, for real-time news, and also your insight, given your family moved to Israel from the U.S., so it's not like you're detached from American Jewry. You are an American Jew. And they did this years ago. Like your father clearly was like, way ahead of the time there. And I will tell you that there was a lot more people at the Nefesh B'Nefesh event than I thought there would be. So there's definitely a lot more people that have woken up or are realizing like, no, I don't know what to do. And the thing is, as you also have children and, you think from the father point of view, from the human point of view, and I'm looking from the mother point of view and the human point of view. And I'm like, my son's coming with me to Israel. He's doing a program in Israel and there's no way in hell I'm sending him to an American university until this is all either until this shakes out and President Trump is able to do what he's trying to do. And I'm so sick and tired of by the way, I don't watch CNN because it's disgusting, but Fox will often take clips to show how stupid they are. So CNN was calling him a white man and that they were calling the FBI stupid for jumping to conclusions because apparently yelling free Palestine and targeting a Holocaust survivor and people marching for the hostages to be released clearly is not an act of terrorism. Okay, CNN.
Yeah, it's hard to believe the stuff that the media is reporting. I mean, these last couple of days, the entire mainstream media was reporting that there was a massacre in the humanitarian aid zone in Gaza. It turned out not that it was like an exaggeration or like a white lie. It was a made up event. There was not a single shot fired. There was not a single person killed. And there was an entire media blitz as if Israel massacred dozens. And when I say dozens, like the Washington Post, CNN, BBC, they all reported dozens.
They all parroted it. It's like, well, again, Hillel, I mean, I kind of guess I'm going to say this. What do you expect? These are the same people that are like, I didn't know that something was wrong with Joe Biden. Dude wandered into a forest. I mean, we were all seeing this, and I'm like, how do you not put two and two together? So, I mean, it doesn't shock me at all, because they're just going to be like, well, and they pivot, they deflect, and I don't even understand. Like, I don't know that anyone's watching them anymore. I don't in this country. I don't know, but it is terribly, terribly disturbing, and the fact that I hear absolutely nothing from people in power in the United States. Look, BBC is not based in the United States. I can't, say hold them accountable. But I can say hold CNN accountable. Like, Jake Tapper, you're a fucking asshole. Shut up and go away. You're a liar. You're a snake. You're making money off of the fact that you have no soul. Like, I'm pretty sure he's one of the people that sold his soul to the devil.
Otherwise, you like him?
Okay, if he would just stop wasting oxygen. And anyone who, I don't know, how do they look themselves in the mirror? I don't waste my time with these questions anymore, because it is just pure fucking evil. It really is. And I'm so sick and tired of it. And it really, look, Hillel, I used to be so proud to say I was an American Jew. And I would say American before Jew. And now I'm like, what the frick happened to this country? I really don't know. And the only glimmer of hope is that Trump is in power, and Judeo-Christian values are coming back in a way, but it's not enough. We were so lazy and not, oh no, like you said, oh, won't happen here. Well, it's happening, and it's been happening. And now the stories of some of these individual students at the universities are coming out about the violence, the physical violence that they, not that emotional and all the other stuff isn't enough, but why is it that only Fox News covers this?
Well, I had a meeting the other day with a Fox News reporter who's not exactly pro-Israel by any means. His reporting has been disappointing, to say the least. And we had a conversation about this, and while I don't agree with his reporting, and I think it's detrimental, it's dangerous, his perspective was, I'm reporting the facts. I'm a journalist. I don't work for the Israeli government. I said to him, if you're reporting, for example, that 9 babies were killed, right? The reason this conversation took place is because I tweeted that, look, they're using AI images of babies. Clearly, this didn't happen. And he said, it's true that they used AI images. I don't know who posted that image, but it did happen. I saw the babies with my own eyes. So we had this conversation. I said, if you're going to report such a thing, don't you think that you should include context, and you should say Hamas does everything to maximize civilian death while Israel does the opposite? He said, no, I don't. Give me the data. She's show me the numbers. I want to know what percentage of.
Give you the data. Is it
no.
why?
Hold on. He's not. Me and you. We're discussing a trend. We're discussing something general. He's saying, I need numbers. Give me the percentage of times that Israel goes out of its way to minimize, and the percentage of time that Hamas does everything to maximize. So again, we know that they do that. He said, I can't
100%?
report. No, it's not 100%. He said, I can't report it until I have the actual data. So for me, he said, I'm reporting right now that 9 babies were killed. This is a fact. So, from his perspective, I get it. Obviously, I said to him, if you were in Nazi Germany, you wouldn't report with context. You wouldn't say, oh, yes, this amount of Germans were killed, but the Allies have to attack to denazify Germany. Of course you would. He said, context is not a journalistic, it's not a journalistic principle. I report facts. Again, very frustrating, but understandable.
I don't agree. I mean, I am also a member of the Press Association, and I disagree with him wholeheartedly. Are his initials TY?
Wait a second. Hold on. What do you mean you disagree with him? Just imagine it was the other way around.
I disagree that context is I'm sorry, but if I'm someone who's reporting okay? And I see this image, right, of this father with this dead baby, quote unquote. And then I also see the image of like, it's not really, it's either AI and it's proven that
That's
it's
not
AI.
what we're talking about, Anya. That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about an event that happened. Like it happened. No one disagrees that it happened. The IDF admits that it happened. It happened. So now the question is, does he report 9 babies were killed? Does he report 9 babies were killed? But generally speaking, we see a trend that Hamas does. That's not journalistic.
No, he doesn't. No, that's not his.
Right. So he said, like, I give me the data. I'll gladly report it. If you tell me what percentage of Hamas terrorists use human shields and in what percentage of events, give me the number. Not, they do. Oh my God, everyone knows that. No, give me a number. And if I can't give you a number, then I'm not going to report it. So again, I disagree. From a human perspective, I think that you have a large platform. You need to be responsible. But from his perspective, I get it. He's a journalist and he doesn't work for anyone. He needs to report the facts. I get it. So, there's that. But then you look at this massacre, quote unquote, that happened this year. This is just a perfect example of how a blood libel is created and manufactured in real time. They didn't check their facts. They knew they would have to retract their statement. But once they put it out there, it goes viral because everyone loves Jew hatred. And then when they retract it, no one sees it. This is very well calculated. This isn't like an accident.
Any retraction in the history of anything reported, it makes the front page. Well, back in the day of the newspaper, it would be on the front page, right, top fold, and then the retraction would be like on page 20.
Right. This is calculated. They know what they're doing.
Always, because who likes to say, "Oh yeah, I was wrong." But on top of that, Hillel, on top of the fact that they're doing this, okay, so they're putting it out there, and even when they do retract it, oh yeah, actually, this whole huge massacre was actually complete horseshit made up. Oh, but it's already out there and it's already lit the people, and the people yelling free, free Palestine and all this other bullshit from the river to the sea, which is calling for the annihilation. And you wonder why you are seeing 2 young people gunned down in the streets of DC. A Michigan Jewish daycare center was targeted. Thank God that was thwarted. That this person's goal was to burn a bunch of Jewish babies. And then this I'm not going to call him a lunatic. This hate-filled piece of shit. By the way, the fact that he was like shirtless, I can't even begin to just, again, disgusting. And like homemade flamethrowers. People were, by the way, I don't know if you heard in Israel, but they were blaming Elon Musk for this attack. He didn't buy a flamethrower from Elon Musk, guys. He made his own and went to 3 different gas stations so he wouldn't get caught buying that much gasoline. So this was calculated. He's not a lunatic. He's not someone who's mentally unstable. This is a hate-filled person who was looking to commit an act of terrorism. Calculated, directed, clear. I'm sorry. It's disgusting.
Of course it is.
Oh, this American. No, he's not American. He's an illegal immigrant, which is a whole other story. And they're showing that he had spent all this time in all these other countries, and
you either laugh or cry.
Well, I'm doing both on the daily because it's like, you kind of have to laugh at how stupid people are that believe like the lies that are put out there, and you have, and then obviously you're crying because it's absolutely disgusting. And the fact that like if it were any other group of people in the United States, the rest of the country would be up in arms. Maybe not in California, but whatever.
Yeah, crazy world. What can I tell you?
Well, you can tell me more about living in Israel, because I think that, I'm trying to remember how long you've been like saying, American Jews, come to Israel, move to Israel, move to Israel. And back, like, I don't know how long it was already, Hillel, like a year and a half ago when we were sitting down, I'm like, I'm coming. And you're like, okay, cool, when? I'm like, as soon as Sally graduates. And I feel like that seems like it was so long ago. And now it's just 2 months away.
Yeah, listen, I came here 30 years ago when Israel was pretty much a third world country. You couldn't get tuna fish in this country. You couldn't buy deodorant here.
That is my favorite line of yours.
It's true. Now you come to Israel, and anybody who comes here will attest to this. This isn't a question. Anybody who comes here will tell you they feel infinitely safer here and that Israel is a paradise to live in. So, all of the quote unquote excuses of American Jewry, or I should say diaspora Jewry, not to come to Israel, all of them are basically gone. Israel's no longer, you don't have to lower your quality of life anymore. You're not comfortable in America anymore. You can make as much money in Israel as you do anywhere else if you work hard. Like, there's just no more excuses. And only way a Jewish person can justify staying out of Israel today is by sticking their head in the sand.
That is so true.
It's a sad reality. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's where we're at.
Look, I mean, I'm hoping that I actually will have a better life in Israel than I do here, and
You're
I'm pretty
hoping?
confident. I'm pretty confident. I know it's true.
Are you kidding me right now?
No, it's true. I'm just trying to build up, to the rest of all the good things I'm about to say.
Your life will be infinitely better here than there.
Listen, I tell people all the time, while I live in the quote suburbs in the United States, I'm outside New York City. I'm considered very suburban, and it's definitely quieter, and I definitely have a quieter town. Like, I have such a small town, we don't have trash pickup. Okay. But I still am always looking over my shoulder, whereas I could walk around any major city in Israel or any place. I mean, I'm picking a city because you don't generally walk around the suburbs, but I could walk around Tel Aviv at 3 a.m. and feel safe.
Yeah,
and that
100%.
is the difference. Where I don't know that I feel safe here at 3 p.m.
Yep.
And it's to the point where when I go into the city, I mean, I don't change who I am. I'm still wearing all my stuff. I mean, listen, Hillel, nothing would make me happier than to take off the hostage tag because all of our hostages would be returned. But I'm never going to take off all the Judaica. I'm never going to stop walking around in things that say Zionist AF on them. I'm never going to stop, with my blue and white nails. That's fine. How cool was that? And quite frankly, Bahat's the fucking cha if you think you're going to scare me. But
it's a lot of F-bombs today, Anya.
I know, I'm in a mood. Bahat's the fucking cha. Come on now, you know where that came from. But it is quite disgusting because I have watched, and I am a student of history because I actually learned in school before we just started doing all this nonsense and stopped teaching kids things that are important, like math and English and stuff and history. Crazy. If you don't talk about history, it repeats itself. It's crazy. But I honestly don't comprehend how when other groups are targeted, the country that I am currently residing in will outwardly fight. But with everything, and this is not like Hillel, we're not talking about something that just happened, just a couple weeks ago, and that was an isolated incident. How long? I mean, it started before October 7th, the nonsense on universities. But October 8th was the green light, the gates were open, the no one's holding back anymore. The aggression, the hate, the violence, the intellectual discrimination, all of it started on college campuses, and it became more apparent all the little things that were happening in K through 12 as well. And not enough people are talking about the K through 12 part.
Yeah, it's very worrisome. Very worrisome. Well, I mean, the future leaders of the world are on TikTok right now, consuming and inhaling this absolute poison that's based on absolute lies, blood libels, Jew hatred. I mean, this is their life now. This is their world now. When there's a trend on TikTok, condoning and promoting Bin Laden, you've lost the plot. I mean, this is where we're at.
I just have a question though. I'm very proud to be Jewish, and I have Christian friends that are very proud to be Christian, and I love that for them. I love that people are proud of who they are and have values. And I think I'm fun, and I'm a good friend. I think I'm a good person. But what makes me so fantastic to hate so much? I just don't understand.
I mean,
I don't. I mean, you're also I know why I'm friends with you because you're incredibly intelligent and dynamic, and you're
keep
you're
going,
awesome
please,
to
Anya.
be
Please,
around.
keep
I know,
going.
right?
Listen, it's very simple.
Stylish T-shirts, Hillel. But also your suit game. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Hillel's suit game is unmatched. Unmatched, I say.
Are you going to put it on the screen when you no?
Wait, can I? I have to figure that out. I don't know. You'd have to decide which suit I would put up. But I will say, for the record, on my podcast, Hillel Fuld was the inspiration for my son's senior prom suit.
Words I never thought I'd hear.
He was like, Mom, I'm going to look fly like Hillel. I'm like, okay.
So why do they hate us, Anya? They hate us because we're moral beings, and the world has lost all sense of morality, and everything's morally, comparable, and everything's moral relativism. There's no good and bad anymore. There's just different. And so when you have a people that brought morality to the world, because the world didn't know once upon a time that it was immoral to murder, it was moral in ancient times. So how does the world know it's immoral to murder? From the Bible. Who brought the Bible to the world? The Jewish people. And so when they don't want morality shoved down their throats, they come after the people that brought it to them. And it's very simple, very straightforward.
It might also be the fact that you have such a good Shabbos suit game. Might be too.
Sure, that's it.
Sometimes we have to laugh. I honestly feel like it's so absurd. I don't get it. I mean, sure, I can go around being like, well, yeah, obviously I'm amazing. I mean, I love how I live rent-free in so many people's minds. I feel like, Hillel, I mean, no one lives more rent-free in people's minds who hate than you. Like I can only aspire, But I feel like we should create a game, Hillel. It's like, how in Monopoly you can like build the house and then you could like up it to like the apartments or whatever. Like, I know that some of the people won't know the Monopoly, the board game, but it's online now. It's like an app now, so I think you can play that too. So, but I feel like it's almost like Monopoly, Hillel. So I'm wondering, should we start to create like these cities in their minds because we're living rent-free already?
There's really.
Can we find someone in Israel that will design that app?
Anti-Semitism is built into the DNA of the universe, and it takes on a new form in every generation, and it morphs. This generation is the anti-Zionist, I don't hate Jews. I just hate 95% of Jews that believe they have a right to a safe haven in their eternal homeland, right? Right. So, that's today's version of the Jews are dirty, or the Jews have horns, or the Jews control the media, or the Jews control the economy, or I could just keep going and going and going, right? Every generation something else.
Well, we don't control Hollywood, that's for sure. That was a fun one that we used to control. They hate us.
All of them. They're all lies. It's always been a lie. The blood libels are made up. We cook matzah with the Christian blood. We killed Christ. Like, it doesn't end. So
the Romans killed him. That's right. Okay.
So you either laugh or cry, and I choose laugh.
Is that why the Vatican is in Rome? Like, because they feel so guilty. They're the ones who killed Jesus, but should look into that. Just saying.
Nice theory.
Come on. Just saying. But I think the other thing that is worth noting is, like you said, it's like, well, I'm just going to put it out there, and then even though I know it's not true, like it doesn't matter because it's about getting it out, right? And it's like, instead of vetting things and making sure they're correct, there's none of that. And part of it is the way we are in this consumer society of like, everything's on social media, whatever. And one of the things I respect most about you is like, you are able, obviously you're in Israel and you're 7 hours ahead, so you're able to get information to those of us who are behind. But you are, look, and you've said, look, there sometimes everyone can make a mistake and everyone can get information like slightly off, but I've never once seen you like hide, a correction or anything like that. You're right away. You get information out, but we are just putting all this nonsense out, and it's more about like, oh, here's what I think, or here's like, I, Anya Farber, say this, so therefore it is true. And I may have a sign in my house that says I'm a mom, therefore I'm right. But I'm talking outside of my home, right? Like, just because I say something doesn't make it true, but like, that's what everyone has decided now, and everyone's just saying whatever it is that they want, even when 5 minutes later they're saying the totally opposite thing. They're acting like, well, they're not just acting like, but people are just seeming to just not sort of remember who's completely lying to them, who's not reporting facts, and the fact that people have they have no accountability for the fact that letting all of this out, not stopping what's going on college campuses, shouting free. And by the way, if he's shouting free Palestine as he lights people on fire, or the asshole in DC who shot these 2 people also yelled that, and you're like, no, that's free speech, it's not incitement. Well, what? Yeah. Like, have some freaking accountability. And I'm so, I'm at a point now where I am just, I don't know what to say anymore. Because it's absurd. It's like, I look at this world and I'm like, what happened?
I don't have any good answers for you. The world's gone crazy.
The world has gone crazy. Now, listen, I will say that sometimes this process of making Aliyah is somewhat frustrating as far as bureaucratic paperwork goes. Aval, it's 100% worth it, guys. So even if you're thinking about it, even if you're thinking about making it your part-time life, I mean, again, the more people that move to Israel, the higher the real estate's going to go, and then I'm never going to be able to buy anything in Israel. But I'd rather rent in Israel for the rest of my life, knowing that I'm there and other people are there and we're all safe. So, guys, you got to come to Israel. You got to follow Hillel's footsteps. Like, thank God your father was like, yeah, we're out. We're leaving. And it's not like you guys didn't have a life here, but you guys left. I'm coming in 2 months. My son's doing a Massah program, and I'm hoping he'll want to stay, but he may want to do some other things too, and so that's up to him. But maybe you guys could have a suit game Shabbos, like he can go dress up with you. Maybe that'll make him stay. But it is really like, yes, I'm kind of chuckling at the moment, but it's also like, as a parent, I'm scared for him. Like, it scares me when I look at this world and it's not a better place than, when I was his age.
I agree. I mean, listen, I'm an optimistic, cup half full kind of guy. So for me, I try to take events, current events, geopolitics in the broader perspective of historical perspective. And, there's so many things about this war that seem to indicate that God, or whatever you want to call it, karma, is working very hard overtime to bring Jews back home.
Well, I'm listening.
It's time.
To whatever it is. I'm seeing it. It scares me, Hillel, and I know that you travel here and people ask you to come talk, but there are groups that I think wouldn't have you talk, and it scares me because I interact with some of these people on a daily basis, and it baffles me. And I don't know how to say to like these synagogues and these federations and communities, like, I feel like the only thing I could do is be like,
yeah. No, listen, the funny thing is, you can argue facts till you're blue in the face, but you can't argue logic, right? I mean, their entire narrative is just one big contradiction, right? You can't tell me, if you have a brain in your head and the logic of a 4-year-old, you can't come and you tell me that there's starvation in Gaza and there's no food in Gaza, and at the same time the hostages are being fed well. Dude, you're contradicting yourself. Those two things cannot coexist. Do you have a brain in your head? Use it. Like, forget facts. You want to believe we occupied a Palestinian state? No problem. Just tell me when the state was established. And if you can't, then ask yourself why that is. So just use your brain, right? We could argue and say occupation, not occupation. Forget the facts. Just use your brain. Just think about the things that you're saying. They contradict themselves. It's ridiculous.
Well, I do think the fact that we are not asking people in more aspects of life to do that, therefore they either are incapable or unwilling to do that. Yeah. And the way you lay it out, Hillel, I'm sorry, it's so incredibly simple. I don't understand how anyone else can't understand that. Aval, they don't, because they're not asked to. We don't hold people responsible for things in this country. People are allowed to steal from stores. Oh, well, it's only this much. No, stealing is stealing. Okay. I've blocked a student access because of their race or religion in a university. Well, I felt that it was my response. No, it's not. And there's no accountability. There's no repercussions. There's no consequences. I understand that there's all multisyllabic words, which are far too complicated for those people to understand. Aval, it's true. A fact is a fact. Yes, you can try to argue facts, but I will go back to when my son was 2 years old. It's a true fact, period, plain and simple. The truth is the truth. The truth shall set you free. And eventually everyone in this country who's like, well, as they're yelling worldwide intifada and they're wondering why all like these things are happening, what do you think those things mean? What do you think will happen when you don't stop this? What do you expect when you're not holding people accountable? And quite frankly, what is it that you think is going to happen when you have turned your back on the values you claim to have that are American values, Judeo-Christian values? Jesus was a Jew. Judeo-Christian values. People are still trying to defund the police and disrespect those who serve in the armed forces in this country, which is voluntary, not mandatory like in Israel. I don't know, Hillel, maybe they should bring back the draft so that service is mandatory in the United States, and maybe people would have more respect for things. I don't know.
That would go
Maybe
over
it's
real
because
well.
no one's. Well, listen. Something has to happen because there seems to be zero respect for others.
You know what
and
has
this
to
idea
happen?
of community.
You have to get the hell out of there. That's what has to happen.
I am doing it, but like, here's the thing: I'm still a human being, and I'm not just going to be like, well, I'm not there anymore. I mean, my parents are not coming. Maybe my dad, maybe I can work on him. My mother, no, she's never going to leave. But like, I still, I mean, obviously I love my mother and I don't want anything to happen. Like, I can't just watch America burn to the ground. I mean, it is very scary to me. And you know what? We still need America to be the way it should be.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's sad to see.
I do have faith because of the new administration. But I mean, look what's still in power. And look what's rising in that, like, heap of flaming dog crap that is the Democratic Party. I mean, you've got, like, communists and bartenders that think they're, like, brain surgeons, like, screaming and yelling words that they don't understand, nor could they spell. I'm sorry. We did go over our time. See, Hillel, time just flies when you're having fun,
That's right.
even though we're talking about stuff. So thank you, as always, Hillel. Listen, I'll see you in a few months.
Yes.
But
yes,
we still need to figure out how to help everybody else. So, American Jews, by the way, if you're still a member of the Democratic Party, exit the hell out of there and start looking into Aliyah. Nefesh B'Nefesh is very helpful.
All right. That's a good way to end.
Thanks, Hillel.
All right. Bye.